I'm Andrew Rigie of the New York City Hospitality Alliance. We're on Flavors of New York. We are here 30 stories up at the Skylark, and I'm about to speak with an industry icon, David Rabin.
Andrew.
David, great
How
to
you
see you.
doing?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's
nice
great.
to see you.
Great.
Glad to come up. That you came up to see us.
Anytime, been too long.
Good. You want to come have a seat?
Let's do
Check
it.
out the Skylark.
David, this is an amazing place, Skylark. I mean, we've known each other for a very long time. I remember sitting in meetings talking about when you had Lotus in the meatpacking district, and we've seen the evolution of the city's restaurant industry, the nightlife industry, and you've been so front and center, both from an operational standpoint, but also a advocacy standpoint. So what have you seen that's changed the most, in your opinion, between Lotus days and being 30 flights up here at Skylark?
It's a good question. I mean, I think nightlife was very focused at that time in certain parts of town, and I think we at that time got to the meatpacking district at sort of exactly the right zeitgeist moment. We opened there in 2000, the same time as Pastis opened, and it seemed to be the beginning of a very big movement towards that part of town. I think nightlife has spread out a lot more since then, not just in Manhattan, but developed in a way in Brooklyn that I don't think we necessarily foresaw. I think a lot of people who were living in Brooklyn foresaw that, but we didn't necessarily. We were kind of Manhattan-centric, and now even as one of our mixologists just opened here, and one of my partners from Jimmy just opened a bar in Queens. So people are moving around more, and so I think there's been that sort of geographical spread and psychological spread.
I've also always found really fascinating about nightlife, about restaurants, right? You set trends, but you're also responding to trends and what people want. And I feel like coming out, and I don't even like to say coming out of the pandemic because who knows where we are, but people want to be out. And have you seen any major shift in what your customers want here at the Skylark now compared to like 2019?
I think people are really eager to be in person. IRL, I guess, in internet lingo. But thank you. We see them staying longer. We see them having maybe an extra drink. Our check average is up over what it was pre-pandemic, and that's not just we had a small price rise, but not a big one. I think $1 or something, but it's really people are consuming more and staying longer, and we've had to actually adjust our turn times at tables because we find that people who haven't seen each other for a considerable amount of time are actually eager to stay another 45 minutes to an hour with their friends to sort of catch up where they left off prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's been so interesting I've found is that throughout the pandemic, oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Might as well enjoy the
Yeah.
drink while we're here.
That's good. It's a beautiful
good.
drink too.
Thank you, Shafiq.
During the pandemic, we were supposed to be socially distant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at a place like the Skylark, what do? You come here to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you said. People want to be together. They haven't seen each other for a long time. So has that helped shape or change the types of cocktails, the food you're offering? Has the way people are socializing now coming out of the worst of the pandemic influenced basically your cocktail menu and your food menu?
I don't think it's changed that so much, and we have a tremendous advantage in that. Well, first of all, our food was always sort of shared food or light, small bite food, so it's food that's easily ordered and shared without having to share utensils or share a dish that someone else has had. Everything is pretty much dinner by the bite, which was, our partner here is Abigail Kirsch, and that's always been their motto. What we're lucky with is that, above us we have outdoor seating for 140 people, or outdoor capacity, and all these windows, or half these windows, open. So we can bring in a great deal of fresh air, and there's another little small patio over on that side, so people feel very, I think, comparatively safe here. It feels like an airy, safe space to socialize. We have another rooftop downtown, Jimmy, which actually in many ways begat the Skylark. It opened 3 years before we opened here, and we're also seeing the same kind of enthusiasm for being outdoors at Jimmy as we do here.
Yeah. And where are people coming from? I mean, you hear a lot about tourism and pre-pandemic, New York City had almost 70 million annual visitors. You're here, you know, Midtown area. We don't have everyone back in our office buildings. I think offices are somewhere 30 to 40% every day occupancy. If you're lucky, nearly 70 million annual tourists. They're not back yet. Are you seeing more people come from like just the city or the tri-state area, or are you also seeing international visitors? What's like the expectation of the demographics folks are going to see if they visit?
It's a great question because we opened here with great trepidation. We had been closed for about 16 months when we reopened in October of 2021. And we had three models of like bad, middle, great. And we're actually kind of at great. The one thing that hasn't come back completely is the long-term out corporate plan buyout. But the shorter, like, hey, we have 50 people from our company, can we come tomorrow for drinks? You know, that kind of impromptu planning is back. And the person-to-person socializing is back in a big way. We were concerned, all those things that you raised were, you know, downtown our venues have been really doing well since the, you know, as you said, you can't call the pandemic over, but since it's maybe enabled people to get out a little bit more. We were very concerned here, but our cover counts are almost exactly the same, and our spend is a little bit higher. We're eager to figure out, a little nervous about what's going to happen on Summer Fridays, because there's no more, you know, we feel like everyone's in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if they're in the office. But we've always had a strong European interest in the Skylark, a lot of UK, a lot of France, and that we're seeing it back in the reviews. People are thrilled to be here. So we're not really sure, but it seems very local in terms of people who are working. The garment center has been working, you know, so people who are still in the garment center and certain tech jobs have still been working. But like some of our biggest neighbors, like the New York Times, they're still somewhat remote in there. And so we've seen, you know, bunches of them, but we haven't seen the sort of major influx that we used to have.
So we've known each other for a long time, and we could talk about politics and operations of the industry for a really long time. But more importantly, what other people want to know is the food. So tell me, what do we have here? Because it looks delicious.
Well, all our food here is meant to be dinner by the bite, so everything is easily just picked up by your fingers and consumed. So we have tuna tacos, guacamole. These are these two highest sellers, along with our French fries, which we don't have right now. I wish we had them for you. And then just a nice little cheese and charcuterie plate.
We have our food, we know what we're eating. Tell me about this drink. It's beautiful, I had a sip, it's delicious. Let me know a little bit about it.
Well, it's just our house version of sangria. I mean, we're lucky here. Our head bartender and now manager, Shafiq, has been with us almost since the start, I believe. And our drink program is courtesy of Johnny Sweat, who has always been a longtime partner of mine at Jimmy, and he does the cocktail program here. So we have a pretty extensive cocktail menu, and that was always part of the plan of the Skylark. We were not going to be a bottle service venue. We were going to be a cocktail-centric. The goal was always to be the best bar in this area that happened to be on a rooftop versus to being a rooftop first. We wanted to have real quality from our cocktail program, and we think we do.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing. I think especially even places like Midtown where you have more and more of these rooftops, sometimes they think they can get away with just being a rooftop and having a beautiful view of Manhattan, but you know, people care about food, they care about cocktails, they care about quality, so it's really nice to know that you have like top shelf people doing top shelf drinks, amazing food, and putting a lot of thought into the menu and the hospitality. You know, from an operational standpoint, one of the things that I always find and think about is, you know, you as an owner, you've had a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants. You walk up here on a busy night, what are you looking at? What are you looking for?
It's a great question. I mean, physical-wise, I'm looking at how's the sound. You know, can people talk? Is it fun and lively, but can people hear themselves? Are they not? I don't want to see people leaning over trying to hear and they can't hear their friends. Is the lighting complimentary? Is it light enough to see what they're eating and drinking, but not so light as to make them look in an unflattering way? And then really, I'm just looking at people to see if does it look like they're enjoying themselves. And a lot of times you can figure that out by are they staring at their phone or are they actually engaged with their guests? And I think what we've been lucky here, we've created an environment where people seem to be very happy here and very happy with the people they're with.
No, So I totally hear you. You don't want people sitting there bored just looking at their phones. The one good thing about people having their phone out is that you have amazing looking food to take photos of. You have amazing looking cocktails to take photos of. You have beautiful views to take photos of yourself in. So that's the good part of the phone.
Yeah.
As far as the drinks go, tell me, what are you going to show me over there at the bar?
I think Shafiq is making our house signature drink, which is called the Skylark, and is as makes sense, it's sky blue, and he does a beautiful job with it.
We're up in the beautiful sky. We're at the Skylark. Let's go have a Skylark cocktail.
Great.
Hi, my name is Shafiq Sobers and I'm the head bartender here at Skylark. And today I'm going to be making the actual cocktail called the Skylark. So I'm going to start off with vodka, gin, Saint Germain elderflower liqueur, lemon juice, dry vermouth, a little simple, and the secret ingredient, blue curacao. Add some ice, give it a good shake, and pour. Final ingredient, you're just gonna add a sunken brandy cherry. There you have it, Skylark.
Thanks, Shafiq.
Wow, beautiful. Look at this. The colors. All right, so we have a beautiful Skylark cocktail at the beautiful Skylark with my friend David Rabin. We're going to say cheers here.
Hey, Andrew, so good to see you. Thank you for coming up and joining us. Thank you.
I'm Andrew Rigie with Flavors of New York. I'm here in the middle of Times Square and the Garment District, 30 floors up at the Skylark. Beautiful cocktails, amazing food. I'm going to have some more tuna. I'm finishing up with my friend David Rabin. Hope to see you soon.